Your best and wisest refuge from all troubles is in your science. Religion to me is science, and science is religion. That brain of mine is something more than merely mortal, as time will show. Your best and wisest refuge from all troubles is in your science. A new, a vast, and a powerful language is developed for the future use of analysis, in which to wield its truths so that these may become of more speedy and accurate practical application for the purposes of mankind than the means hitherto in our possession have rendered possible. Am I too imaginative for you? I think not. As soon as I have got flying to perfection, I have got a scheme about a steam engine. Forget this world and all its troubles, and if possible, I am in a charming state of confusion. I am much pleased to find how very well I stand work and how my powers of attention and continued effort increase. I am never so happy as when I am really engaged in good earnest, and it makes me most wonderfully cheerful and merry at other times, which is curious and very satisfactory. I am quite thunderstruck at the power of the writing. It is especially unlike a woman's style surely, but neither can I compare it with any man's exactly. I am working very hard, like the devil in fact, which perhaps I am. I think you will be pleased. I believe myself to possess a most singular combination of qualities, exactly fitted to make me preeminently a discoverer of the hidden realities of nature. I can only end by repeating what I have often said before, that I am very troublesome, and only wish I could do you any such service as you are doing me. I do not believe that my father was, or ever could have been, such a poet as I shall be an analyst and metaphysician, for with me the two go together indissolubly. I don't wish to be without my brains, though they doubtless interfere with a blind faith, which would be very comfortable. I expect to gain a good deal of new light, and to get a good lift, in studying, though probably I shall be a long time about this. I could wish I went on quicker. That is, I wish a human head, or my head at all events, could take in a great deal more and a great deal more rapidly than is the case. And if I had made my own head, I would have proportioned its wishes and ambition a little more to its capacity. I find that nothing but very close and intense application to subjects of a scientific nature now seems at all to keep my imagination from running wild, or to stop up the void which seems to be left in my mind from a want of excitement. I have a peculiar way of learning, and I think it must be a peculiar man to teach me successfully. I have got a scheme to make a thing in the form of a horse with a steam engine in the inside so contrived as to move an immense pair of wings, fixed on the outside of the horse, in such a manner as to carry it up into the air while a person sits on its back. I have my hopes, and very distinct ones, too, of one day getting cerebral phenomena such that I can put them into mathematical equations, in short, a law or laws for the mutual actions of the molecules of the brain, equivalent to the law of gravitation for the planetary and sidereal world. I may remark that the curious transformations many formulae can undergo, the unsuspected and to a beginner apparently impossible identity of forms exceedingly dissimilar at first sight, is I think one of the chief difficulties in the early part of mathematical studies. I am often reminded of certain sprites and fairies one reads of, who are at one's elbows in one shape now, and the next minute in a form most dissimilar.
Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Remember always, that all of us, and you, and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. I ask you to judge me by the enemies I have made. When you come to the end of your rope, tie a knot and hang on. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. A nation that destroys its soils destroys itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying the air and giving fresh strength to our people. I'm not the smartest fellow in the world, but I can sure pick smart colleagues. The liberty of a democracy is not safe if the people tolerated the growth of private power to a point where it becomes stronger than the democratic state itself. That in its essence is fascism, ownership of government by an individual, by a group, or any controlling private power. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. To reach a port we must set sail. Sail, not tie at anchor. Sail, not drift. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. The real safeguard of democracy, therefore, is education. Books cannot be killed by fire. People die, but books never die. No man and no force can abolish memory. In this war, we know, books are weapons. And it is a part of your dedication always to make them weapons for man's freedom. Books cannot be killed by fire. People die, but books never die. No man and no force can abolish memory. In this war, we know, books are weapons. And it is a part of your dedication always to make them weapons for man's freedom. Happiness is not in the mere possession of money, it lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort. Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. If you treat people right, they will treat you right, 90% of the time. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Presidents are selected, not elected. It is common sense to take a method and try it. If it fails, admit it frankly and try another. But above all, try something. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. Be sincere, be brief, be seated. A conservative is a man with two perfectly good legs who, however, has never learned to walk forward. We have always known that heedless self-interest was bad morals, we now know that it is bad economics. Freedom means the supremacy of human rights everywhere. Our support goes to those who struggle to gain those rights and keep them. Our strength is our unity of purpose. To that high concept there can be no end save victory. Repetition does not transform a lie into a truth. The first truth is that the liberty of a democracy is not safe if the people tolerate the growth of private power to a point where it becomes stronger than their democratic state itself. That, in its essence, is fascism, ownership of government by an individual, by a group, or by any other controlling private power. Among us today a concentration of private power without equal in history is growing. In these days of difficulty, we Americans everywhere must and shall choose the path of social justice, the path of faith, the path of hope, and the path of love toward our fellow man. It isn't sufficient just to want, you've got to ask yourself what you are going to do to get the things you want. Human kindness has never weakened the stamina or softened the fiber of a free people. A nation does not have to be cruel to be tough. The truth is found when men, and women, are free to pursue it. A war of ideas can no more be won without books than a naval war can be won without ships. Books, like ships, have the toughest armor, the longest cruising range, and mount the most powerful guns. Better the occasional faults of a government that lives in a spirit of charity than the consistent omissions of a government frozen in the ice of its own indifference. Competition has been shown to be useful up to a certain point and no further, but cooperation, which is the thing we must strive for today, begins where competition leaves off. True individual freedom cannot exist without economic security and independence. People who are hungry and out of a job are the stuff of which dictatorships are made. War is young men dying and old men talking. Great power involves great responsibility. I think we consider too much the luck of the early bird and not enough the bad luck of the early worm. We cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can always build our youth for the future. In the truest sense, freedom cannot be bestowed, it must be achieved. You are only an extra in everyone else's play. Those who have long enjoyed such privileges as we enjoy forget in time that men have died to win them. A radical is a man with both feet firmly planted in the air. A conservative is a man with two perfectly good legs who, however, has never learned to walk forward. A reactionary is a somnambulist walking backwards. A liberal is a man who uses his legs and his hands at the command of his head. The real truth of the matter is, as you and I know, that a financial element in the large centers has owned the government of the U.S. since the days of Andrew Jackson. There is nothing so American as our national parks. The scenery and the wildlife are native. The fundamental idea behind the parks is native. It is, in brief, that the country belongs to the people, that it is in process of making for the enrichment of the lives of all of us. The parks stand as the outward symbol of the great human principle. Organized money hates me and I welcome their hatred. Taxes, after all, are dues that we pay for the privileges of membership in an organized society. I have an unshaken conviction that democracy can never be undermined if we maintain our library resources and a national intelligence capable of utilizing them. The only sure bulwark of continuing liberty is a government strong enough to protect the interests of the people, and a people strong enough and well enough informed to maintain its sovereign control over the government. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. There should be no bitterness or hate where the sole thought is the welfare of the United States of America. No man can occupy the office of president without realizing that he is president of all the people. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. I do not know what I may appear to the world, but to myself I seem to have been only like a boy playing on the seashore, and diverting myself in now and then finding a smoother pebble or a prettier shell than ordinary, whilst the great ocean of truth lay all undiscovered before me. I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies but not the madness of people. Nature is pleased with simplicity. And nature is no dummy. What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean. Tact is the knack of making a point without making an enemy. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who sets the planets in motion. Truth is ever to be found in the simplicity, and not in the multiplicity and confusion of things. No great discovery was ever made without a bold guess. A man may imagine things that are false, but he can only understand things that are true. If I have ever made any valuable discoveries, it has been due more to patient attention than to any other talent. And to every action there is always an equal and opposite or contrary reaction. What goes up must come down. He who thinks half-heartedly will not believe in God, but he who really thinks has to believe in God. Live your life as an exclamation rather than an explanation. You have to make the rules, not follow them. Sir Isaac Newton was asked how he discovered the law of gravity. He replied, by thinking about it all the time. To myself I am only a child playing on the beach, while vast oceans of truth lie undiscovered before me. Tact is the art of making a point without making an enemy. Trials are medicines which our gracious and wise physician prescribes because we need them, and he proportions the frequency and weight of them to what the case requires. Let us trust his skill and thank him for his prescription. How came the bodies of animals to be contrived with so much art, and for what ends were there several parts? Was the eye contrived without skill in optics, and the ear without knowledge of sounds, and these things being rightly dispatched, does it not appear from phenomena that there is a being incorporeal, living, intelligent? If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. 'Tis much better to do a little with certainty and leave the rest for others that come after than to explain all things by conjecture without making sure of anything. God without dominion, providence, and final causes, is nothing else but fate and nature. Blind metaphysical necessity, which is certainly the same always and everywhere, could produce no variety of things. All that diversity of natural things which we find suited to different times and places could arise from nothing but the ideas and will of a being necessarily existing. Whence arises all that order and beauty we see in the world. What we know is a drop of water, what we ignore is an ocean. To explain all nature is too difficult a task for any one man or even for any one age. Plato is my friend, Aristotle is my friend, but my greatest friend is truth. Men build too many walls and not enough bridges. Yet one thing secures us whatever betide, the scriptures assures us that the Lord will provide. If I have been able to see further, it was only because I stood on the shoulders of giants. I have studied these things, you have not. What Descartes did was a good step. You have added much several ways, and especially in taking the colors of thin plates into philosophical consideration. If I have seen a little further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Truth is the offspring of silence and meditation. I keep the subject constantly before me and wait till the first dawnings open slowly, by little and little, into a full and clear light. In the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone would convince me of God's existence. God who gave animals self-motion beyond our understanding is without doubt able to implant other principles of motion in bodies, which, we may understand as little. Some would readily grant this may be a spiritual one, yet a mechanical one might be shown, did not I think it better to pass it by. This principle of nature being very remote from the conceptions of philosophers, I forbore to describe it in that book, lest I should be accounted an extravagant freak and so prejudice my readers against all those things which were the main design of the book. To every action there is always opposed an equal reaction. There are more sure marks of authenticity in the Bible than in any profane history. I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. If others would think as hard as I did, then they would get similar results. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Gravity explains the motions of the planets, but it cannot explain who set the planets in motion. As a blind man has no idea of colors, so have we no idea of the manner by which the all-wise God perceives and understands all things. If I have done great things, it's because I was standing in the closet of smart men taking notes and then publishing their ideas as my own. They who search after the philosopher's stone, are, by their own rules obliged to a strict and religious life. A man may imagine things that are false, but he can only understand things that are true, for if the things be false, the apprehension of them is not understanding. Men build too many walls and not enough bridges. For I see not what there is desirable in public esteem, were I able to acquire and maintain it. It would perhaps increase my acquaintance, the thing which I chiefly study to decline. The more time and devotion one spends in the worship of false gods, the less he is able to spend in that of the true one. If I have seen farther than others, it is because I was standing on the shoulders of giants. 'Tis much better to do a little with certainty and leave the rest for others that come after than to explain all things by conjecture without making sure of anything. What we know is a drop. What we don't know is an ocean. Resistance is usually ascribed to bodies at rest, and impulse to those in motion, but motion and rest, as commonly conceived, are only relatively distinguished, nor are those bodies always truly at rest, which commonly are taken to be so. That one body should act upon another through a vacuum without the mediation of anything else is so great an absurdity that no man suited to do science can ever fall into it. Gravity must be caused by an agent, but whether that agent be material or immaterial I leave to my readers. For it became him, God, who created them, the atoms, to set them in order. And if he did so, it's unphilosophical to seek for any other origin of the world, or to pretend that it might arise out of a chaos by the mere laws of nature. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe. Without a home there can be no good citizen. With a home there can be no bad one. Outside of the Constitution we have no legal authority more than private citizens, and within it we have only so much as that instrument gives us. This broad principle limits all our functions and applies to all subjects. When I die, I desire no better winding sheet than the stars and stripes, and no softer pillow than the Constitution of my country. It's a damn poor mind that can only think of one way to spell a word. Honest conviction is my courage, the Constitution is my guide. The goal to strive for is a poor government but a rich people. Legislation can neither be wise nor just which seeks the welfare of a single interest at the expense and to the injury of many and varied interests. If the rabble were lopped off at one end and the aristocrat at the other, all would be well with the country. There are some who lack confidence in the integrity and capacity of the people to govern themselves. To all who entertain such fears I will most respectfully say that I entertain none. If man is not capable, and is not to be trusted with the government of himself, is he to be trusted with the government of others? Who, then, will govern? The answer must be, man, for we have no angels in the shape of men, as yet, who are willing to take charge of our political affairs. Who, then, will govern? The answer must be, man, for we have no angels in the shape of men, as yet, who are willing to take charge of our political affairs. For myself, I care not whether treason be committed north or south, he that is guilty of treason is entitled to a traitor's fate. Let them impeach and be damned. The homestead policy was established only after long and earnest resistance. Experience proves its wisdom. The lands in the hands of industrious settlers, whose labor creates wealth and contributes to the public resources, are worth more to the United States than if they had been reserved as a solitude for future purchasers. The enactment of the Homestead Act would create the strongest tie between the citizen and the government. He would with cheerfulness contribute his proportionable part of the taxes to defray the expenses of the political system under which he lived. Notwithstanding a mendacious press, notwithstanding a subsidized gang of hirelings who have not ceased to traduce me, I have discharged all my official duties and fulfilled my pledges. And I say here tonight that if my predecessor had lived, the vials of wrath would have poured out upon him. My right side is paralyzed. I need no doctor. I can overcome my own troubles. If I am shot at, I want no man to be in the way of the bullet. Whenever you hear a man prating about the Constitution, spot him as a traitor. I have lived among Negroes, all my life, and I am for this government with slavery under the Constitution as it is. I am for the government of my fathers with Negroes. I am for it without Negroes. Before I would see this government destroyed, I would send every Negro back to Africa, disintegrated and blotted out of space. There are no good laws but such as repeal other laws. I realized, there are people out there who can beat me, want to beat me. And unless I continue to innovate and evolve, I am going to learn a painful lesson from someone who has. I tell our sisters in the South that so far as Tennessee is concerned, she will not be dragged into a Southern or any other confederacy until she has had time to consider, and then she will go when she believes it to be her interest, and not before. I have reached the summit of my ambition. I have been almost overwhelmed by the announcement of the which has so recently occurred. I feel incompetent to perform duties so important and responsible as those which have been so unexpectedly thrown upon me. I hold it the duty of the executive to insist upon frugality in the expenditure, and a sparing economy is itself a great national source. I am sworn to uphold the Constitution as Andy Johnson understands it and interprets it. Tyranny and despotism can be exercised by many, more rigorously, more vigorously, and more severely, than by one. The life of a republic lies certainly in the energy, virtue, and intelligence of its citizens. Slavery exists. It is black in the South, and white in the North. I hold it the duty of the executive to insist upon frugality in the expenditure, and a sparing economy is itself a great national source. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe.
While we may have more still to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. It's worth remembering that it is often the small steps, not the giant leaps, that bring about the most lasting change. When peace comes, remember it will be for us, the children of today, to make the world of tomorrow a better and happier place. It has always been easy to hate and destroy. To build and to cherish is much more difficult. I cannot lead you into battle, I do not give you laws or administer justice, but I can do something else. I can give you my heart and my devotion to these old islands and to all the peoples of our brotherhood of nations. The wartime generation, my generation, is resilient. You've all seen pictures of the Earth taken from space. Unlike all the other planets in the solar system, Earth shimmers green and blue in the sunlight and looks a very pleasant place to live. Often a child's helplessness and vulnerability bring out the best in us. Right around the world, people gather to compete under standard rules, and, in most cases, in a spirit of friendly rivalry. Competitors know that, to succeed, they must respect their opponents. Very often, they like each other too. Religion and culture are much in the news these days, usually as sources of difference and conflict, rather than for bringing people together. But the irony is that every religion has something to say about tolerance and respecting others. Everyone is our neighbor, no matter what race, creed, or color. The birth of a baby brings great happiness, but then the business of growing up begins. I am reminded of a lady of about my age who was asked by an earnest, little granddaughter the other day to Granny, "Can you remember the Stone Age?" Whilst that may be going a bit far, the older generation are able to give a sense of context as well as the wisdom of experience, which can be invaluable. People are touched by events which have their roots far across the world. When life seems hard, the courageous do not lie down and accept defeat. Instead, they are all the more determined to struggle for a better future. Over the years, those who have seemed to me to be the most happy, contented, and fulfilled have always been the people who have lived the most outgoing and unselfish lives. for every poppy a life, and a reminder of the grief of loved ones left behind. Sport has a wonderful way of bringing together people and nations. It is through this lens of history that we should view the conflicts of today, and so give us hope for tomorrow. The importance of family has, of course, come home to Prince Philip and me personally this year with the marriages of two of our grandchildren, each in their own way a celebration of the God-given love that binds a family together. Although we are capable of great acts of kindness, history teaches us that we sometimes need saving from ourselves, from our recklessness or our greed. In times of doubt and anxiety, the attitudes people show in their daily lives, in their homes, and in their work, are of supreme importance. We may hold different points of view, but it is in times of stress and difficulty that we most need to remember that we have much more in common than there is dividing us. Perhaps we make too much of what is wrong and too little of what is right. The trouble with gloom is that it feeds upon itself, and depression causes more depression. Our modern world places such heavy demands on our time and attention that the need to remember our responsibilities to others is greater than ever. Each day is a new beginning. I know that the only way to live my life is to try to do what is right, to take the long view, to give of my best in all that the day brings, and to put my trust in God. I know just how much I rely on my own faith to guide me through the good times and the bad. I believe that, young or old, we have as much to look forward to with confidence and hope as we have to look back on with pride. If we resolve to be considerate and to help our neighbors, to make friends with people of different races and religions, and, as our Lord said, to look to our own faults before we criticize others, we will be keeping faith with those who landed in Normandy and fought so doggedly for their belief in freedom, peace, and human decency. Though we each lead different lives, the experience of growing older, and the joys and emotions which it brings, are familiar to us all. By being willing to put past differences behind us and move forward together, we honor the freedom and democracy once won for us at so great a cost. With age does come experience, and that can be a virtue if it is sensibly used. The path, of course, is not always smooth, and may at times this year have felt quite bumpy, but small steps can make a world of difference. No age group has a monopoly of wisdom, and indeed I think the young can sometimes be wiser than us. But the older I get, the more conscious I become of the difficulties young people have to face as they learn to live in the modern world. We know the reward is peace on earth, goodwill toward men, but we cannot win it without determination and concerted effort. Such a blend of traditions serves to make us stronger, individually and collectively, by providing the ingredients needed for social, political, and economic resilience. Inevitably, a long life can pass by many milestones, my own is no exception. Giant leaps often start with small steps. I know of no single formula for success, but over the years I have observed that some attributes of leadership are universal, and are often about finding ways of encouraging people to combine their efforts, their talents, their insights, their enthusiasm, and their inspiration, to work together. At the heart of our faith stand not a preoccupation with our own welfare and comfort, but the concepts of service and of sacrifice, as shown in the life and teachings of the one who made himself nothing, taking the very form of a servant. It has perhaps always been the case that the waging of peace is the hardest form of leadership of all. The upward course of a nation's history is due, in the long run, to the soundness of heart of its average men and women. Even when your life seems most monotonous, what you do is always of real value and importance to your fellow men. Whatever life throws at us, our individual responses will be all the stronger for working together and sharing the load. I can never wear beige because nobody will know who I am. I have to be seen to be believed.
Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. 3 may keep a secret, if 2 of them are dead. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. He that can have patience can have what he will. You may delay, but time will not. A penny saved is a penny earned. Many people die at 25 and aren't buried until they are 75. In wine there is wisdom, in beer there is freedom, in water there is bacteria. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. We are all born ignorant, but one must work hard to remain stupid. Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are. Fear not death, for the sooner we die, the longer we shall be immortal. I didn't fail the test, I just found 100 ways to do it wrong. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety, deserve neither liberty nor safety. Beer is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. How many observe Christ's birthday? How few, his precepts. Being ignorant is not so much a shame, as being unwilling to learn. Well done is better than well said. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Hide not your talents, they for use were made, what's a sundial in the shade? It is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority. Lost time is never found again. 3 may keep a secret, if 2 of them are dead. Instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle. If all printers were determined not to print anything till they were sure it would offend nobody, there would be very little printed. The Constitution only guarantees the American people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. Be at war with your vices, at peace with your neighbors, and let every new year find you a better man. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. 'Tis a great confidence in a friend to tell him your faults, greater to tell him his. The person who deserves most pity is a lonesome one on a rainy day who doesn't know how to read. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Never confuse motion with action. Educate your children to self-control, to the habit of holding passion and prejudice and evil tendencies subject to an upright and reasoning will, and you have done much to abolish misery from their future and crimes from society. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Whatever is begun in anger, ends in shame. Do not anticipate trouble, or worry about what may never happen. Keep in the sunlight. Whoever would overthrow the liberty of a nation must begin by subduing the freeness of speech. The heart of a fool is in his mouth, but the mouth of a wise man is in his heart. There was never a bad peace or a good war. Be slow in choosing a friend, slower in changing. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. We must all hang together, or assuredly we shall all hang separately. When you are finished changing, you're finished. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. To find out a girl's faults, praise her to her girlfriends. For the want of a nail the shoe was lost, for the want of a shoe the horse was lost, for the want of a horse the rider was lost, for the want of a rider the battle was lost, for the want of a battle the kingdom was lost, and all for the want of a horseshoe nail. When you're testing to see how deep water is, never use 2 feet. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. A slip of the foot you may soon recover, but a slip of the tongue you may never get over. Trouble knocked at the door, but, hearing laughter, hurried away. Life's biggest tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. Happiness depends more on the inward disposition of mind than on outward circumstances. If Jack's in love, he's no judge of Jill's beauty. If you would not be forgotten, as soon as you are dead and rotten, either write things worth reading, or do things worth writing. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. In the affairs of this world men are saved, not by faith, but by the lack of it. Who is wise? He that learns from everyone. Who is powerful? He that governs his passions. Who is rich? He that is content. Who is that nobody? Be civil to all, sociable to many, familiar with few, friend to one, enemy to none. My refusing to eat flesh occasioned an inconveniency, and I was frequently chided for my singularity, but, with this lighter repast, I made the greater progress, for greater clearness of head and quicker comprehension. Flesh-eating is unprovoked murder. We do not stop playing because we grow old because we stop playing. If a man could have half of his wishes, he would double his troubles. Speak ill of no man, but speak all the good you know of everybody. While we may not be able to control all that happens to us, we can control what happens inside us. Were I a Roman Catholic, perhaps I should on this occasion vow to build a chapel to some saint, but as I am not, if I were to vow at all, it should be to build a lighthouse. Never leave till tomorrow that which you can do today. The best thing to give to your enemy is forgiveness, to an opponent, tolerance, to a friend, your heart, to your child, a good example, to a father, deference, to your mother, conduct that will make her proud of you, to yourself, respect, to all others, charity. The way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. Most people die at 25 and aren't buried until they're 75. Work as if you were to live 1,000 years, play as if you were to die tomorrow. A house is not a home unless it contains food and fire for the mind as well as the body. Security without liberty is called prison. Contentment makes poor men rich, discontent makes rich men poor. All mankind is divided into three classes, those that are immovable, those that are movable, and those that move. When the well is dry, we know the worth of water. Those things that hurt, instruct. The only thing that is more expensive than education is ignorance. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe. We all do better when we work together. Our differences do matter, but our common humanity matters more. From Bill Clinton's speech. People are more impressed by the power of our example rather than the example of our power. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America. When our memories outweigh our dreams, it is then that we become old. If you live long enough, you'll make mistakes. But if you learn from them, you'll be a better person. It's how you handle adversity, not how it affects you. The main thing is never quit, never quit, never quit. The real differences around the world today are not between Jews and Arabs, Protestants and Catholics, Muslims, Croats and Serbs. The real differences are between those who embrace peace and those who would destroy it. Between those who look to the future and those who cling to the past. Between those who open their arms and those who are determined to clench their fists. Being president is like being the groundskeeper in a cemetery. There are a lot of people under you, but none of them are listening. If you want to live like a Republican, vote like a Democrat. All America loses when any person is denied or forced out of a job because of sexual orientation. Being gay, the last time I thought about it, seemed to have nothing to do with the ability to read a balance book, fix a broken bone, or change a spark plug. People around the world have always been more impressed by the power of our example than by the example of our power. We cannot build our own future without helping others to build theirs. A man is more than the sum of all the things he can do. Mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of, but stigma and bias shame us all. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Each bloodletting hastens the next, and as the value of human life is degraded and violence becomes tolerated, the unimaginable becomes more conceivable. You can put wings on a pig, but that doesn't make it an eagle. We live in a completely interdependent world, which simply means we cannot escape each other. How we respond to AIDS depends, in part, on whether we understand this interdependence. It is not someone else's problem. This is everybody's problem. If one candidate is appealing to your fears, and the other one's appealing to your hopes, you'd better vote for the person who wants you to think and hope. They should be impressed by the power of our example, not the example of our power. If you live long enough, you'll make mistakes. But if you learn from them, you'll be a better person. The media knows what sells: conflict and division. It's also quick and easy. All too often anger works better than answers, resentment better than reason, emotion trumps evidence. A sanctimonious, sneering one-liner, no matter how bogus, is seen as straight talk, while a calm, well-argued response is seen as canned and phony. We all do better when we work together. Our differences do matter, but our common humanity matters more. When our memories outweigh our dreams, we have grown old. Our democracy must be not only the envy of the world but the engine of our own renewal. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America. That's the permanent mission our founding fathers left us, moving toward the more perfect union. When I was in England, I experimented with marijuana a time or two, and I didn't like it. I didn't inhale. He didn't say a word or do an action that did not have a purpose. Gerald Ford once said that an impeachable offense is whatever a majority of the House of Representatives says it is. Sometimes when people are under stress, they hate to think, and it's the time when they most need to think. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America. That depends on what your definition of is. A man you can bait with a tweet is not a man we can trust with nuclear weapons. Follow the trend lines, not the headlines. Someday we hope to liberate every man on earth from the tendency as old as human history to identify our strength and manhood with the ability to control the lives, limit the chances, and doom the dreams of women and girls. All too often, those who rail against them prevail over earnest pleas to remember what we can be and do together. Our brains have worked this way for a long time. Maybe they always will. But we have to keep trying. That's the permanent mission our founding fathers left us, moving toward the more perfect union. This is a practical country. We have ideals, we have philosophies. But, the problem with any ideology is that it gives the answer before you look at the evidence. Sometimes the them strategy is just a narcotic to feed the beast in all of us. Obama doesn't know how to be president. He doesn't know how the world works. He's incompetent. He's an amateur. Walter Cronkite, was also a profoundly good man. I don't think we should lose sight of that. All those professional gifts emanated from a very good core, and that's something that's beyond training. It's who he was. His knowledge of war has fed a passion for peace. If we don't succeed, we run the risk of failure. Psychologically, we're all a complex mixture of hopes and fears. Each day we wake up with the scales tipping a bit one way or the other. If they go too far toward hopefulness, we can become naive and unrealistic. If the scales tilt too far the other way, we can get consumed by paranoia and hatred. Do as much as you can for as many as you can, every day. Even on the bad days, there's always something good you can do. All too often anger works better than answers, resentment better than reason, emotion trumps evidence. A sanctimonious, sneering one-liner, no matter how bogus, is seen as straight talk, while a calm, well-argued response is seen as canned and phony. I'm out of rabbits and hats to pull them out of. And you hear me, you unelected flunky. I only take orders from the president. Until I hear from him, I'll be. If there is nothing else to learn from history, it's that from humans to animals, from the most primitive to the most civilized, most individuals want to be led. Take out the leader, and the rest of the pack panics. We know we have to face hard truths and take strong steps, but we have not done so. Instead, we have drifted. And that drifting has eroded our resources, fractured our economy, and shaken our confidence. The idea that power was an end in itself, rather than a means to provide the security and opportunity necessary for the pursuit of happiness, seemed to him stupid and self-defeating. About Senator Fulbright. Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. The path to the CEO's office should not be through the CFO's office, and it should not be through the marketing department. It needs to be through engineering and design. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. I think it's very important to have a feedback loop, where you're constantly thinking about what you've done and how you could be doing it better. There's a tremendous bias against taking risks. Everyone is trying to optimize their ass covering. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. Sometimes it will be ahead, other times it will be behind. But brand is simply a collective impression some have about a product. I don't think it's a good idea to plan to sell a company. It is a mistake to hire huge numbers of people to get a complicated job done. Numbers will never compensate for talent in getting the right answer. Two people who don't know something are no better than one, will tend to slow down progress, and will make the task incredibly expensive. A company is a group organized to create a product or service, and it is only as good as its people and how excited they are about creating. I do want to recognize a ton of super talented people. I just happen to be the face of the companies. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. It is important that people look forward to coming to work in the morning and enjoy working. If you're co-founder or CEO, you have to do all kinds of tasks you might not want to do. If you don't do your chores, the company won't succeed. No task is too menial. I say something, and then it usually happens. Maybe not on schedule, but it usually happens. I do think there is a lot of potential if you have a compelling product and people are willing to pay a premium for that. I think that is what Apple has shown. You can buy a much cheaper cell phone or laptop, but Apple's product is so much better than the alternative, and people are willing to pay that premium. I don't spend my time pontificating about high-concept things, I spend my time solving engineering and manufacturing problems. I always invest my own money in the companies that I create. I don't believe in the whole thing of just using other people's money. I don't think that's right. I'm not going to ask other people to invest in something if I'm not prepared to do so myself. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. I think it matters whether someone has a good heart. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. I don't believe in process. In fact, when I interview a potential employee and he or she says that it's all about the process, I see that as a bad sign. The problem is that at a lot of big companies, process becomes a substitute for thinking. You're encouraged to behave like a little gear in a complex machine. Frankly, it allows you to keep people who aren't that smart, who aren't that creative. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. The first step is to establish that something is possible, then probability will occur. There are really two things that have to occur in order for a new technology to be affordable to the mass market. One is you need economies of scale. The other is you need to iterate on the design. You need to go through a few versions.